Two people from Florida have pleaded guilty to stealing and selling the private diary of President Biden's daughter, Ashley. Biden's daughter was moving from a friend's home in 2020, and she left behind some personal items, including her diary. They were found by a woman who, along with a friend, sold them to the conservative activist group Project Veritas. They've been ordered to forfeit the $40,000 they were paid, and they now face 5 years in prison.
Fox News alert. Americans can rest easy tonight knowing that 2 dangerous criminals are off the streets and are heading to prison. No, they didn't kill anybody. They didn't rape. They didn't traffic drugs or underage kids. And no, they didn't get loaded and wreck their Porsche. They found Ashley Biden's diary and they tried to sell it. According to the Department of Justice, Amy Harris and Robert Kurlander pled guilty today to, quote, conspiracy to commit interstate transportation of stolen property. That has to be the least used federal statute on the books. But the diary was never stolen. Ashley Biden abandoned it. She left it under a mattress in a Florida halfway house where she was recovering from her sex and drug addiction. I have a legitimate question. Why don't the Biden kids ever clean up after themselves? Did they grow up with maids? Hunter's leaving his laptop at repair shops and his crack pipes and rental cars. Ashley's just ditching her diary around a bunch of drug addicts. This is the sloppiest family I've ever seen. It's almost like they want to get caught. Talk about daddy issues. We don't have time for that tonight, though. But the DOJ doesn't care. They're making it seem like these 2 people broke into the Biden family beach house and stole it out of the big guy's safe. They accused Harris and Kurlander of crossing state lines with stolen property and using an encrypted messaging app to communicate with journalists. Oh, so like WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger? Billions of people use that across the world. These people aren't Russian hackers. But that's what Merrick Garland wants you to think. And listen, these people aren't totally clean. They're getting high and they find a diary and they try to shop it for money to buy drugs, all before an election. They shopped it to a bunch of outlets. No one wanted it, and eventually ended up at Project Veritas. James O'Keefe wanted it, and he was suspicious, though, and needed confirmation that this was the real deal. So the duo went back down to Florida to find more evidence to corroborate it. O'Keefe paid 40 grand for it, but never even ran the story. Next thing you know, the FBI raids his house. And listen, the diary would have been a big October surprise had anybody run with it. It's full of dirt on the first family. In it, Ashley wrote about being hypersexualized in her youth, saying, quote, I remember having sex with friends at a young age and showers with my dad. Probably not appropriate, quote unquote. You think Joe wants that out in public? Around election season? No. But the FBI is acting like this was a matter of national security. Here's the New York Times. Since the investigation began nearly 2 years ago, federal investigators have moved aggressively, carrying out court-authorized searches at the homes of 2 former Project Veritas operatives and the group's founder, James O'Keefe.